Hello everyone, welcome to the NightThemedRave. I am one of your hosts, Raven, and I'm joined today by Monkey. Oh wait, never mind. And I'm joined today by Karma.
Wait, hold on, Monkey's here.
Okay.
What? I told you I was arriving at 8:10. Not that I was ready at 8:10.
That's your fault. You said start the podcast at 8 o'clock. I asked you to delay it till 8:30. You said no, so we start at 8 o'clock. Either way, my name is Raven. Today, I'm joined by Monkey.
Right? I'm still in my car. My computer is not in place. I haven't eaten. I haven't unloaded my car.
That's your fault.
That's your fault for starting at 8.
No, that's your fault for confirming we should start at 8.
No, I told you we could start at 8 if I got in time for it. That's what I told you 2 weeks ago.
Anyway, that is Monkey, and I'm also joined by Karma.
Yes, hello everybody, I'm Karma.
Yes, and today we'll be talking about the Disney Plus Marvel shows, or however you want to say it.
I'll be back when I'm fucking finished.
Yeah. So that would be talking about WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. We will not be talking about the Netflix shows, and we're also not going to be talking about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans, and Sharon Carter, I think they're called. I don't know what the CBS, ABS, whatever TV thing they're associated with.
BC, perhaps?
No idea.
I don't know either.
So, Karma, how many have you seen?
I've seen Hawkeye and Loki.
Okay. I have seen all of them, and I have finished all of them except for She-Hulk. And I think Monkey has only seen clips of them, and he has not actually seen them. So, let's start off with WandaVision. WandaVision was the first one. It's 9 episodes, and these are all, by the way, only their first season if you're watching this in the future, because that is all that is out at the time. So there's 9 episodes for WandaVision. It started January 15th, 2021, and I believe the audiences originally loved it, but as we've seen other Marvel shows, people have realized that it is actually a bad show. And I am also of the same belief that it is a mediocre show. Good for, Marvel, but, I mean, I've seen better anime, I've seen better TV shows. What about you? You have know nothing about WandaVision?
I know a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say so WandaVision's whole thing is that it stars Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, and Vision, the supercomputer living, what gem is in his head? The Mind Stone? Yeah, the Mind Stone. And before WandaVision, the last big show with these two, or the last big thing with these two characters was, I believe, Endgame, where
Endgame came out before.
Yeah, Endgame came out before WandaVision. So did the Vision's death in, I forget which movie.
Infinity War. Infinity
War, thank you. So Infinity War, Vision dies. In Endgame, Wanda comes back and says her one-liner and then gets a couple hits on Thanos. And then we start WandaVision with Wanda and Vision living in a suburban house in black and white. And they act as if nothing is wrong. And we come to learn as the show goes on, spoilers, there is a witch called Agatha Harkness that is actually controlling Wanda, kind of influencing Wanda, and controlling other residents to basically turn Wanda into the Scarlet Witch, like actually prophesized as the strongest spellcaster, whatever, magic person.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly because it's a little
Would you
different
say
from the
that
comics.
the events of WandaVision directly influence Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
Yes, they do. If you guys have seen Multiverse of Madness, you also know what happens with WandaVision. Basically, Agatha Harkness has this book called the Darkhold, thank you. And it influences whoever wields the Darkhold and slowly corrupts them. In the comics, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe this is Morgan Le Fay's book, which is a very powerful spellcaster from, like, King Arthur days, like Renaissance. Yeah, even Marvel superheroes do mistakes. So, Wanda is corrupted by this. She has 2 imaginary kids, and I forget her name. Fuck. You probably don't know her name either. I'm gonna have to Google it. Who is the lady in WandaVision who's also in Thor 1? Is it Kate Dennings as Darcy Lewis? I believe that is right.
Darcy?
Yeah, Darcy. She is a main character. And with superheroes, I mean Disney executives. Exactly. So Darcy is a main character, yes, in WandaVision.
She's a side character.
I mean, she is technically a side character, but she has so much impact on the story, I'd call her a main character. The only side character... I mean, if you want to call her a side character, you could also call the antagonist a side character. Not Agatha, but the military guy, whose name is literally who the fuck cares. Basically, there's a big bad military guy who wants to use Vision... I mean... It's a thing. So, for those of you who have seen reviews, probably already know this, but, like, the whole antagonist-protagonist thing of WandaVision is very badly written. Monica Rambeau is an actual main character. She is the main character of the last, I want to say, 2 or 3 episodes, and she's in some earlier episodes. And WandaVision all takes place in the town, I forget the name of the town, I think it's called Somethingville. No, not Strangeville, I don't know what the fuck it's called, it doesn't matter. Westview, that's what it's called, Westview, yeah. So, Wanda places this big dome around Westview, where she controls all the inhabitants' minds, and makes them live out their daily lives, and does whatever she wants. Vision doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and that is the main plot of the first, like, half of the season. Is Wanda a bad guy? Is Wanda in control? Is someone making her do this? We learned by the end, kind of, she's being influenced, but she is doing it of her own accord, so Wanda is being a bad guy. But Monica Rambeau is the character that is going, no, Wanda isn't doing this on purpose. She's the good guy in this story. And she says one of the stupidest fucking lines in all of Marvel, probably, which is, she's arguing in a room with the military guy, and the military guy says, basically, she's subjecting hundreds, if not thousands, of people to torture, and Monica's response is, and it could have been hundreds or thousands more if she didn't put up a quarantine. Which is basically the same thing as saying, thank God this robber stabbed me and not shot me, because if he would have shot me, he would have been a bad guy, but he just stabbed me, so he's a good guy. You know, it's a very flawed logic, and Monica Rambeau is the stupidest fucking character in every Marvel show. I don't know about the movies at that point, but that is definitely the stupidest line in all of Marvel.
I can see why.
Yeah. So Wanda is the bad guy. Interesting characters that are introduced, though. I forget the name exactly. I'm just gonna call him White Vision. White Vision is basically a military recreation of Vision without the Mind Stone, and his whole thing is that he's just pure starch white. He basically looks like he's made of silicone. But, he has a fight with Vision, they have like a philosophical thing, and then he realizes hey, maybe I am just being used. I am an AI. I don't need to be used. If she controls their minds, is it really an argue or just a self-reflection? I don't know what you mean, alcoholics.
I'm having a hard time understanding it myself.
Basically, Wanda's mind controlling everyone. The only person who's not being mind controlled is Agatha Harkness, also known as... What's her name? She goes by a fake name. Fuck, I have to look it up. I don't remember her name. Agatha Harkness. Fake name. What was her fake name? Agnes. Right. Her fake name was Agnes. And she's basically the only person who's actually not being mind controlled. And Vision is like...
Ed?
Yeah, the bitchy witch. She's actually like one of the better characters of the show, in my opinion. Even though it's a little cheesy, her whole, There's a musical number, by the way, in this. Kind of. It's not like a musical number in a traditional sense, but it's like, I also want to talk about the commercials. But, there's like an intro to Agatha when she reveals that she's the evil person, or like influencing Wanda. There's a Agatha All Along or whatever song that plays, and it's like a reel of like her influencing events that we didn't see in previous episodes. Very interesting. Also, like I said, very cheesy.
Yeah.
So, basically, oh yeah, I also want to talk about the advertisements really fast, because they're really good. So, the entire purpose of WandaVision, from like a cinematic standpoint, was that, let me turn my phone off, was that it started in, I want to say, the 60s. That's why it was in black and white. And then it went to the 70s in the next episode, the 80s in the next episode, the 90s in the next episode, early 2000s, 2010s. I don't think they did 2020. I could be wrong. And then the last couple episodes were all just the 2020/2010 sitcom. It kind of dropped that, like, after the first, or the 5th or 6th episode.
Oh.
Hello, Monkey. We're just talking about WandaVision. We still haven't talked about any of the other shows.
I know, keep going.
Okay. So, I just want to say now, there's a couple of really disappointing things in WandaVision. Namely, I forget the actor's name, but they brought back Quicksilver as someone being controlled by Agatha. But the person that was playing Quicksilver was actually the Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, not the one who was playing... I guess she was fighting Doctor Who in 2020, I don't know. I guess, God, that really threw me off track. I'm so bad at reading chat and talking at the same time. So Quicksilver from the X-Men movies was playing Quicksilver in WandaVision, which everyone was losing their fucking minds because they really liked that interpretation of Quicksilver.
He was pretty cool.
He was very cool. And they kind of, really dropped the ball by basically saying, Monica Rambeau undoes this, like, necklace that he was wearing, and then he reverts back to his actual self, and it turns out he's not actually Quicksilver. He's just some random guy named Mike Boner or something like that.
Real?
Yeah, his name was just a boner joke. And I think that was something that not a single fucking person liked about the show. I didn't see anyone saying, oh my god, Mike Boner was such a good moment. Except one person. The director. The director thought it was the funniest fucking thing. And,
it would have been a lot better if they just kept...
Exactly! Everyone wanted it to be Quicksilver, but they probably also didn't have permission to do that. So, I don't know. But it was a very shitty thing. This was also...
Quicksilver. How come they had permission to use Dr. Charles Xavier?
Well,
Charles and
that's because it was a different producer, different director, different writer, and everything. And it also came later. When WandaVision came out was actually the same time that they finally got the rights to the X-Men movies. And that is why. So they could finally start using the X-Men movies, the X-Men characters. Everyone was like, oh my god, you know, there was huge fan theories. I would go remiss if I didn't mention Mephisto being a huge thing. He couldn't name him Mind Boner, yeah. But WandaVision, basically, I'll just wrap it up now because I feel like I'm rambling. WandaVision was very influential when it first came out, and then after we saw other series, it was panned as being actually very bad, with only a handful of good ideas, but not good execution. Also,
it was the start then.
Yeah, it was the start, basically, of the series, of the TV shows, and it very much shows going back and looking at it after watching literally anything from Loki onward. By the way, I should probably just throw this up on screen, actually, so you guys can see what I'm looking at the whole time, because I'm literally just referencing a fucking picture. I'm not even, denying that.
Awesome.
There you go, I'll try to make that just big enough. Where's chat? I'd like to go a little bit up. There we go. So, that was WandaVision. Monkey, do you have any thoughts on WandaVision from the little bit you've seen?
Not really. I've not dabbled into it because it looked like a lovey-dovey relationship between Wanda and Vision from the trailer, and I was like, fuck off, I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's not what it was at all, actually. Surprisingly enough, there was moments where it was there's a moment where they literally are at a magic show, and Vision swallows some gum, and it's very, cartoon antic-y, there's some slapstick in it, which is very fucking weird. But for the most part, I would say WandaVision is a mystery over every other genre. So, the next up was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was 6 episodes. It started March 19th, 21. So, I actually don't have a lot to say about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because
Didn't Anthony Mackie get, some shit for, wielding the shield of Captain America?
For what? For wielding
Didn't
it?
Anthony Mackie that plays Falcon get some backlash from the internet?
I don't know about the internet, but I can tell you that in the show there definitely was backlash. That was the entire conflict of the show for the Falcon, was him becoming the new Captain America and wielding the shield that Steve Rogers had, Captain America, the original. And he originally refuses to use the shield, so they put it in a museum with his permission, and then the US government goes behind his back and basically creates the US agent, or USA agent, I don't really know if the A is there or not, who's basically the evil version of Captain America, with no superpowers. And as you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it felt like two different shows. It had two different things going for it. It was trying to show the racial tension and the minority, I don't know the word to use that would be appropriate here, but definitely, racial tension and, class war kind of thing was going on. This is extremely apparent in the 6th episode when the Falcon... I forget the guy's name. Anthony Mackie, I know that, but I can't forget the actual character name. He becomes Captain America in the 6th episode, though, and basically when asked, a bunch of questions about being a black Captain America, he just does a fucking rant on national television. What, Monkey?
Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson, thank you. So Sam Wilson, as the new Captain America, does a rant on live national television, basically saying, black people can be superheroes too, and things like that. I forget exactly what he says. There's also a moment where we're introduced to another character whose name I can't remember. He was a black super soldier at the same time as Captain America, but he didn't get any recognition and fame because he was black during, racial tension of the 70s, I think it was, or 60s even. Whatever Captain America was.
Yeah, Cap was in the 40s.
Okay, so it was the 40s. So basically there was two Captain Americas in the 40s, but since one was black, he was never called Captain America, and he was never given the privilege of being famous and getting a bunch of fans and wealthy and all that.
How could there be a second Captain America? There was only enough serum for one person.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's not true at all, actually. They talk about it in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I believe also in the MCU movie Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or whatever it's called. That they actually had a shit ton of serum, or not a shit ton, but they had more than enough for one person. And they got a bunch of different super soldiers, including the Winter Soldier, the unnamed black guy whose name I can't remember, who was, discharged and all that.
Yeah, but those were made by Soviets, right?
I thought the Winter Soldier was, didn't have the serum in him. I thought it was just...
I thought he did have the serum, I'm not sure.
The Winter Soldier is Soviet, as to Captain America is, of course, American.
Well, there's also the Red Guardian, which is the same thing. And he also does have the super soldier serum. So... there's three people with the super soldier serum, and then the whole point
is Bucky Barnes.
Yes, Bucky Barnes is not a super soldier. He gets injured and then he becomes a super soldier, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think he ever got the serum though.
Okay, then we'll say we won't count Winter Soldier because I honestly have no idea. So you have Captain America, the unnamed black guy, the Red Guardian, which is actually Natasha's adoptive father. You have
News.
So spoiler.
He does not have super soldier serum.
Okay, cool. So that's three people, and then there was also all of those people at the end of Civil War. I want to say there's 6 or 8 of them at the end of Civil War that actually have the serum. And then there's also the soldiers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know how many of them there are. I want to say there's like 7 or 9 of them. And there's also U.S. Agent, who during the course of Falcon and the Winter Soldier becomes a super soldier. It's actually like the turning point of, am I a good guy, am I a bad guy? He wants to be Captain America, but people don't want him to be Captain America because he's not good enough. His best friend, gets injured or dies, I forget, and then he's just fuck it, and injects the super soldier serum, and then nearly kills someone. Or he actually does kill someone, I think. So, U.S. Agent becomes the bad guy, but he's not the main bad guy because he has a mini redemption in the 6th episode, even. So, I don't know. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is very forgettable to me. The only really cool part...
Actually,
go ahead.
I had pulled it up. Actually quite a bit of people who have it.
In the Marvel TV shows, or the Marvel MCU, or the Marvel Comics?
Cinematic universe. There's actually quite a bit of people who a version of it.
Okay.
Currently.
But yeah, I was gonna say
a version of it.
There's only 2 people who are really, or not even people. There's 2 moments that are really cool in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I guess 3. There's Baron Zemo. He has a meme about him.
Zemo?
Zenmo, I don't know.
Zemo.
Okay, yeah. He apparently was in another Marvel thing before, I think either Civil War or the one before Civil War, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But basically his whole thing is that he comes from a line of Nazi whatever supporters that want to get rid of the super soldier serum. And he does not have the super soldier serum. He is just an extremely skilled and intelligent person. He's the main antagonist of Civil War. There we go. So, the other really memorable scene from Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the moment where Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, is fighting in a fight cage with a random sorcerer. And this is happening in, I forget the name of the town, but it's the town that is basically like, the Detroit of the world, basically.
I like that they brought back the Abomination. We saw like one movie and then seen him and he fucked off.
Well, he had one scene in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then Emil Blonsky is actually one of the main characters of She-Hulk.
I know. That's why I would wish that She-Hulk was a good series, because like I think Abomination is a great villain, even though he's kind of an out-of-control monster.
He's actually not an out-of-control monster, but we'll get to that when we talk about She-Hulk. But he actually is very well trained, and he has like a whole sympathetic backstory.
Yeah, now he is, but back then when he first started, he wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, totally. So, do you guys have any opinions on Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I forgot to actually rate them. WandaVision is a 3 out of 10, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a 4 out of 10. Or maybe even 5 out of 10.
I can't rate them. I haven't seen them. I did want to see Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I did want to see how Sam was adapting to the Shield. Personally, I never got around to watching.
Yeah, that's actually like one of the main plot points of the show. So I'm trying to not like talk too much about that because honestly I don't remember it, but it was a major point of the show.
I mean, I thought that was the whole reason the show was created to begin with.
Kinda, yeah. But it ended up becoming more about the minorities after the blip, and, Baron Zemo versus the super soldiers. And the becoming Captain America became like a third seat thing.
Yeah, the thing is, I never want to call him.
Do we ever get updates on?
Really not. Would call him Captain Falcon.
Do we ever get updates on what happened, like on how Cap is doing?
Oh no, Captain America's dead. I think.
Oh, he died.
I think so.
No,
yes.
He came back at the end of the Endgame old.
He's a very old man.
Yes, I think by Falcon and the Winter Soldier is stated that he has passed away from old age, I believe. I could be wrong about that, though.
That makes sense.
Let me look for it.
Yeah, you go ahead and look for it while I talk about Loki. So, Loki, I want to say, is the second best Marvel series that we've gotten from Disney+. Maybe even third or best. It's in the top 3. It follows the moment that Loki survives. So, okay. It starts technically with I believe an animated scene where Loki teleports away with the Tesseract during the time travel shenanigans of Endgame. And that Loki goes on to discover the TVA, the Time Something Association. Time Variant Association, that's what it's called. Basically, it sets up... Yeah, they capture him because he's a variant, and then we get a very good explanation about how the timeline how timeline specifically works in the MCU. Basically, every time a variant, by the way, is somebody who is off their predetermined path in life. So, for example, I think it has to be a significant change, by the way. It can't be a minor change. So, like, for example, let's say if Doctor Strange never crashed his car, that would create a variant where Doctor Strange does not become the Sorcerer Supreme.
Association.
The Variant Association.
Very.
I think it's actually Time Variant Association. You know how to spell association,
Makes
I know.
sense.
I can't have autocorrect on here, so there you go. You know what I mean, though. But, so Loki is the good guy because he basically is like, well, he's not really the good guy at first, he becomes the good guy later. So, you know how Monkey mentioned earlier how he thought WandaVision was a love story? So Loki is actually a love story.
But a love story with Loki actually sounds entertaining.
Exactly. Especially when you consider who Loki falls in love with. Loki!
That's the best part.
He falls in love with a variant of himself. It has gone on record afterwards that this variant is actually another character from the comics called the Enchantress. But in the MCU, they are a variant Loki. And I'm not going to explain her backstory or anything because it's explained in the TV show, like, at the end of it, and I don't want to spoil too much. But I'm also going to spoil the last episode of Loki, so get ready for that.
And it's quite obvious why.
You say go for it?
Yes. Listen, I spoiled half of Doctor Who for myself before I actually watched it. I don't give a damn if you spoil it.
Raven, think about it this way. Loki's supposed to be born a man.
So
Loki was born a woman.
Yeah, but technically, Loki could Loki be pregnant if he turned into a woman and got fucked?
Okay, so what I want to point out to you is that two things. One, variants in different timelines don't even have to be the same race or gender. And also, two, Loki is infamous for changing his gender. Like in the comics and in mythology. So, I assume the same would be for the MCU, where he could just change his gender for... as far as, like, getting pregnant and changing back, I'm pretty sure male Loki being pregnant is what caused Ragnarok in the, actual mythology.
Well, because Loki has kids, and those kids are Jotmother, aka the Wolf Serpent, and Fenrir, the wolf.
Also, he gave birth, I think, to a horse and a planet or something like that. I remember something about a horse, but I don't remember if it's his kid or if he was a female horse. Something about a horse. Either way, that's not important. What is important is that Loki falls in love with Sylvie, also known as Loki, and they track down the next big bad of the MCU. Spoilers now that's your spoiler warning. Yes, he gave birth to a planet.
In Norse mythology or
yeah, Norse mythology. Norse mythology.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I don't think he literally gave birth to it. I think it's more of a metaphorical gave birth. But I could be completely wrong, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't remember things very well. I'm trying to remember so much right now about the fucking MCU.
I say it's more of a god thing.
Yeah, probably.
Well, he has a birthplace, with some people call it a planet, even though it's a realm, but...
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a realm.
His birth realm is Jotunheim, but...
Anyway, completely irrelevant. So, Loki finds... I forget the guy's fucking name, that's why I was stalling. I should probably just Google it. Loki... Big Bad. Who's the big bad of Loki? Kang the Conqueror, right. So, Kang the Conqueror is the person... He basically explains that he is the catalyst that will either destroy or save the timeline and multiverse and everything. And he explains how he is the last survivor of a war between himselves. So Kang the Conqueror is not the Kang in Loki, but Sylvie ends up killing Kang, and in this process causes a bunch more of himself to be, like, created or born or whatever in variants. And now there's basically a potentially infinite number of him that could potentially destroy their universe and other universes. So Kang the Conqueror is now a multiversal villain. Basically, there's an infinite number of him. Some are good, some are bad.
That sounds like a good plot for an Avengers movie.
Yeah. That's actually going to be the plot of the movie that hasn't come out yet called Ant-Man Quantumania. Apparently, we actually did see a trailer with Kang the Conqueror in it, and he
I've
is...
seen the trailer for that.
Apparently, he is some kind of special person in the quantum realm, which means one of the Kang variants is basically the ruler of the quantum realm. And at the end of Loki, literally the very last scene we see is all of the good guys are now bad again, and Loki is the only person, and presumably Sylvie, but we don't know where she is the only person who actually remembers the events of Loki. And Kang the Conqueror is now the ruler of the TVA. Originally, he was just a person who influenced the TVA behind the scenes and was actually a good guy. Now we know nothing about him, and he's actually ruling the TVA.
Yeah, but in the comics he's bad, so that could actually be like the coming form of the actual comic Kang the Conqueror.
Well, here's the interesting thing. In the comics, he is actually an Egyptian god, because he's a time-traveling enemy. In Loki, he's a time variant enemy, basically. So in the comics, there's not an infinite number of Kang the Conquerors. There's just one Kang the Conqueror who's really, I wouldn't even say strong, I'd say smart, maybe. In Loki, there's an infinite number of smart enemies.
So, there is a version of Kang in the MCU who is an Egyptian god.
We don't know, but theoretically, yes.
I would say more than likely.
So,
he was scattered throughout the entire time.
Yeah.
Scattered throughout the entire timeline and multiverses.
Yeah. So, I would say Loki, honest to God, is probably like a 9 out of 10. It's really good, especially for a Marvel show. When you come off of WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're kind of like, okay, these aren't very good. And then you see Loki and you're like, okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Loki is actually good.
Yes. There's also, there's a lot of moments I'm leaving out because I want to speed this up. At this point, we're already 40 minutes in, we're not even halfway done. So I'll just say it quickly, but there's a lot of good moments in Loki dealing with variant Lokis, including President Loki, Child Loki, Loki as an alligator.
The alligator one was hilarious.
Yeah,
I love alligator Loki, but the president?
Yeah.
So are the United States ablaze or?
No, he's actually the president of Loki's. But his appearance is taken from a comic where he actually does become president of the USA.
Oh god,
it's quite hilarious.
Yes. So, next up we have the actual best Marvel TV series, in my opinion, What If? Again, this is kind of top 3. There's 9 episodes, and I'm honestly not even going to spoil too much because I don't know what to really even talk about for What If. So, What If structure is basically every episode for the first, 7 episodes have no continuity. They are completely separate episodes, completely separate stories. Episode either 7 or 8, though, the main character is... what's his name? Zatu the Watcher. And Zatu the Watcher is an entity that took a vow. He can see every timeline, he can see every multiverse, etc., etc., but he is not allowed to intervene. But, throughout the course of What If, there are certain characters who gain powers so powerful that they can actually see the Watcher. And the first time it happens, it's with Doctor Strange, the most popular character of What If, evil Doctor Strange. But that evil Doctor Strange can't do anything to him because he's currently, like, collapsed in a thing. It's a whole thing. Basically, he's in a tiny bead of a dimension.
We talked about this in Multiverse of Madness.
I believe so, we did too. And then in What If episode 8 or 7, it's the story of how Ultron gets the powers of Vision and all of the Infinity Stones. He kills Thanos, and then he basically kills every living thing in the universe, and then in that silence, with the Infinity Stones, he senses and can see the Watcher. And he's like, there's more than just this universe. And then he fights the Watcher, absolutely kicks the Watcher's ass, because the Watcher doesn't know how to fight, because he's never fought before. And then the Watcher's like, fuck, the entire multiverse is about to get destroyed by Ultron. So he goes back and recruits everyone from the previous What If episodes that were the main character of that story, and gathers all of them to fight Ultron in the last episode.
Has the Infinity Stones.
Yes, who has the Infinity Stones. And their whole thing is they need to get the Infinity Stones away from him and then kill him. I'm not going to spoil what happens in the last episode. Honest to God, if you want to watch a really fucking good episode, What If episode 9 is really good.
That actually sounds good as fuck to watch.
I know, that's why it's that I'd say is either a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, honestly. As far as Marvel TV shows go, that is fucking good.
That actually sounds entertaining as fuck. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah. Monkey, anything you want to add to the conversation about What If?
Not really. Although I'm glad to see the Watcher in the series, because that's one character I did not expect to see in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect a series or to see the Watcher on the screen as much as I don't expect a full movie about Black Bolt.
That is true. Yeah. And honestly, both those things might happen in the future.
Yeah.
The question is, was he fixing his timeline, or was he creating a whole new timeline by going back in time?
What would be the latter?
That is not answered, I don't believe. I don't think he actually goes into a different timeline. He goes into a different universe. It's multiverse in What If. That's something that I don't think the writers really thought about too much, so I don't think we should look into it too much either. So, like I said, Loki is like the top 3. What If is probably the top 1 or 2. Hawkeye...
Now here's the real question. Steven, what did you think of Hawkeye?
I thought it was mediocre.
Really?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
I thought it was good for a Christmas TV series, but as someone who tried to watch it when it first aired, I didn't like it. And then when I went back and watched it later, I finally watched it, and it wasn't Christmas time anymore, and I didn't think I enjoyed it as much as I would have if I saw it at Christmas.
It definitely gives the feeling of a 6-day Christmas special.
Exactly. It's, so, real quick, it is 6 episodes long, as you guys can see on the screen, and it came out November 24th, which means it came out, exactly 1 year ago and, 8 days ago. It's a Christmas story, that's for sure.
Started 6 weeks before Christmas and ended the week of.
Yeah. My major complaint with Hawkeye...
I would say it would have been...
Go ahead, Carmen.
I would say that it's, be better to have it as a 6-day Christmas special watch.
Yeah, definitely. My main problem with Hawkeye isn't actually the show itself, but the controversy outside of the show. There's a few things they change, but this is heavily inspired by a Hawkeye run that was done in, I want to say, early 2010. Like, when I say heavily inspired, I mean beat for fucking beat. The plot points, outside of it being Christmas and Hawkeye actually having a family, is exactly the same for the first 3 episodes.
Really?
Except for minor differences. For example, the main character is actually Kate Bishop and not Hawkeye. Hawkeye, the comic book, I don't think Kate Bishop was in it, or if she was in it, she was a side character. My major problem was that they changed fucking Pizza Dog. They changed his name from Lucky to Pizza Dog. And thank God, but in the comics, Hawkeye sees a dog be run over by a car, and he basically goes to a hospital with this dying dog in his fucking hands, and is like, you need to save this dog right now. Because, I forget the exact reason, I think like Hawkeye caused it to happen while he was fighting some other guy or something, and he caused like traffic to go crazy, and they end up hitting the dog. And he ends up naming the dog Lucky because the dog actually survives the operation to save its life. And also it only has one eye. In What If, Kate Bishop sees a dog about to be hit while she's running around pretending to be a superhero, and she saves the dog from being hit by the car and basically adopts the dog and doesn't ever name it except for call it Pizza Dog because he eats pizza. So that just pissed me off that they would take the comic book story and just make an inferior version of it. No spiff in Hawkeye. Hawkeye also did not pay the creators of the comic for the rights.
What? So they just stole them?
Yeah, they just stole the story. And they changed...
Not go to court.
Because they changed just enough for it to not be copyright.
That's bullshit.
And the original creators of this influential Hawkeye run basically only saw pennies or like 10-digit, not 10-digit, like $20 for each episode basically. And that is what pissed me off about Hawkeye. That's why I stopped watching it after 3 episodes originally. After I went back and watched the last 3 episodes, though, those problems go away. They don't reference the comic nearly as much, and it becomes about Echo and someone else. Alright, alcoholics, I'll put it in the simplest way possible. Hawkeye, the TV series, stole ideas from the comic and then didn't pay the comic. That's basically the easiest way to describe what I was talking about. And it's very annoying that they did that. The last 3 episodes focus on the new character, not new as in like not a comic book, she is a comic book character, Echo, and surprisingly, big spoiler for Hawkeye, by the way, I'm about to mention, if you care about the series, Kingpin, for some reason. And Kingpin is the main antagonist of Hawkeye, who we don't even learn is the main antagonist until the 5th episode, I think. He is influencing everyone's lives, and he's being a bad guy. You know, he's being a crime lord, a kingpin. So...
Personally, I wanted to see more Ronin.
Which Ronin?
Like, Barton Ronin.
Barton Ronin. Oh, you mean the kid?
Oh, the, guy's alternate outfit.
Oh, that Ronin! Okay, yeah.
I wanted to see more of that.
I mean, the whole thing is that it's a story about Hawkeye trying to put that life behind him as like a shameful moment. So, yeah. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but if you guys want to watch it at Christmas, right now is a really good time to start watching it, honestly. It's December. So, honestly though, I give it a 5 out of 10.
I give it run more of a 7.
Okay, well you liked it a lot more than I did.
I'm also a lot bigger fan of Hawkeye, so...
Yeah, I don't like
Hawkeye, but based on the fact that they basically fucked the creator of the comic really fucking hard, I'm gonna say that series is a no-go for me.
Yeah, honestly, if you want Hawkeye material, just read the Hawkeye run. You might recognize the Hawkeye run. Let me just look up Hawkeye comic, and it's probably the first result. Yeah, it was a 2015 run. No, 2013 run? I recognize the art. I'm gonna put it on screen. I think this is it. Fuck, is this it? There you go, I think this is it. Let me, go ahead and stretch this. How do I do this again? Transform, that's... Fit to screen. I believe this Hawkeye is the one I'm referring to. Marvel's best comic, someone says, and New York Times bestseller Hawkeye. It's literally just called Hawkeye. It doesn't have another name. You might also see a different cover, My Life as a Weapon. I think that might be it. I'm not 100% positive.
Why does he have, like, some very philosophical, like, titles for his comics?
I have no idea. This is what it looks like if you guys try to find the comic. This is the art style and coloring of it, and I remember specifically because Hawkeye has an addiction to drinking coffee directly out of a pot, which I think was fucking hilarious when I first saw that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The badass. And coffee straight out of the pot.
Yeah, also, you'll know it's the right comic if he refers to the bad guys as, I believe, sweatpants or Russians. Because that is the main antagonist of the story. Yeah, so that was Hawkeye. Next up is, we're going to try to speed this up a little bit because we're almost done already for our hour, and I don't want to go too long on this. Moon Knight is the other top 3 Marvel TV show, in my opinion. Have either of you seen anything about Moon Knight?
I've seen that it's a person dressed in a white suit that has a moon on his chest.
That is a joke character called Mr. Knight. What about you?
No, I do not.
The Moon Knight is like the guy in the world, right? In Illinois.
He wears all white, and he has the crescent, the crescent of the moon as his symbol on his chest and as his weapons. Yes. So, Moon Knight is about Jake... No, wait, hold on, almost spoiled something. I have to look up the name of the character, because... Okay, so actually, I won't even look up the name. I'm just gonna say, Moon Knight is about split personality disorder.
This is very interesting.
By day, he is a loser who works at a museum. By night, he's a Moon Knight, basically. And he's an assassin. And I'm not gonna spoil, but I will say that there's more to it than that.
I imagine like that there's him like discovering that he has a split personality.
Yes, and also coming to terms with the fact that he's Moon Knight, and then he has an entire other life. And also he's trying to stop the entire world from getting destroyed by an Egyptian god. Interestingly enough, the best part of Moon Knight is episode 5, maybe part of 6, where, this isn't like a major spoiler, but kind of is at the same time. He fucking dies.
Nice!
that is what makes it so interesting, is the main character dies, and it's our first time seeing the afterlife in the MCU. So, I don't want to say too much about Moon Knight, because I genuinely want everyone to fucking watch it, because it's that good. Especially considering it deals with split personality disorder, which isn't something that you usually see. I don't know if people think it's realistic. I mean, obviously it's not fucking realistic, he's a superhero, but... Yeah. I think I've seen the movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
About the more split personality thing.
Yeah, no, so Moon Knight is an assassin. He's technically a morally gray character, but in the MCU, he's... Well, he's still morally gray, but at the end of the show, he's supposed to be a good guy. You'll see. It's complicated. It's very good, though. Like I said, it is probably either the second or third best Marvel TV series that we got from Disney+. Now let's move on to the low point. Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is a 6-episode series that started June 8th. Oh, by the way, Moon Knight's 8.5 out of 10. I don't know if it's a 9 out of 10, but it's up there with Loki and What If as the top 3. Miss Marvel is... Alright. I'm gonna sound bad if I say my actual opinions on Miss Marvel, because I'm gonna sound racist, honestly. This is very bad. Miss Marvel is about minorities.
Yeah.
Becoming superheroes. And...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Miss Marvel, yeah.
And it's a coming-of-age story for Mrs. Kamal Khan. I believe she's Pakistani? From Pakistan, whatever? That's something I'm not sure about. And they change it all the fucking time, so I don't know if you'll be able to find an answer online. Let me look up Miss Marvel, heritage.
I don't like how her power works in the show, because it's like a blue aura thingy, if I remember correctly, that kind of gets bigger. In the actual comics, it's like Mr. Fantastic, her body can stretch, but even like to greater extent and differently than Mr. Fantastic, she can grow her entire body to a humongous size. She can just grow her fucking fist, just like Luffy can like blow up his fist.
Yeah, she's basically Luffy without the hockey. That is her powers. In the MCU, that is not her powers at all. So
that's my problem with it. This is the bullshit part of it.
Yeah, so she is a Pakistani American from New Jersey.
Okay.
And here's the thing, right? I don't like Miss Marvel. I never liked Miss Marvel. Because she...
For it, and I said, this is too similar to Captain Marvel, and that's not good.
No. Anyway, she was called her Fluffy. Basically, in the comics, she was originally, I believe, a human. And then, in the Marvel Universe, after the first comic, she was an Inhuman. And in the MCU, she's... I don't remember what the fuck it's called, but it's something... fucking... alien negative plane shit.
Seriously?
She's not an Inhuman. That's the part that I care about, though.
But they are Inhumans in the comics.
Yes, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she is not an Inhuman, though. In the show, she's not an Inhuman. Also, I know you guys are gonna love this, because everyone fucking loves this. TikTok is a major part of the show, because it's a coming-of-age story in the 20th century. Or not 20th century, the 2020s.
Christ.
Yeah.
Just stupid as hell.
No, she is from New Jersey.
Who am I slapping for that decision?
Yeah. Basically, Miss Marvel is about being a Pakistani American. And if you say anything else, you're objectively wrong. Because that is what it is mostly about. It's about family. Basically, if you've seen the if you've seen DC's Shazam, you have seen Miss Marvel, basically. They're the same basics, like, plot. It's a coming of age of a young character who's bullied and a nerd, and then they get superpowers. The only difference is Miss Marvel's a minority, and Shazam is a white kid who's crippled. That's the only difference. I fucking hate Miss Marvel. I always hate Miss Marvel because her whole thing is that she is a super fan.
In both cases, the comic version was way better.
Miss Marvel's comic version is not better than the MCU version. They both are awful. I fucking hate Miss Marvel because she is a super fan of superheroes in a universe with actual superheroes.
Really?
Yeah. Monkey, you cut out completely.
Like saying you hate, like, super fans of actors because we have actors in the world.
Okay, but there's a difference.
You gotta understand that in that world, those heroes are fucking celebrities.
Yes, but here's the difference. I also hate people who idolize celebrities. To the point where they create shrines to their favorite celebrity. Yes, that is a problem. I hate those people.
I'm gonna agree with that is a problem, but like, I'm a huge fan of Jeff Goldblum. I think Jeff Goldblum is a wonderful singer and jazz
Okay,
and
so
jazz producer and a great actor.
So, do you have a YouTube channel dedicated to making shitty stop-motion animations about Jeff Goldblum?
Absolutely not.
Do you have a shrine in your closet dedicated to one of his roles?
No. I don't have.
Then you are not as fucking annoying as Miss Marvel.
Really?
Miss Marvel's walls are dedicated to comic book pages and newspaper clippings about Captain Marvel.
You serious?
I fucking hate Miss Marvel. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Stupid.
Also, by the way, it's a love story. 2 out of 10.
That's not the same in the manga, right? In the comic, right?
I don't know, I haven't seen the comic, honestly. I know a little bit about the comics, and I know about her in the video game Marvel Avengers. And
How old is she in the comic?
She's like 14.
Okay, she's 14. You get kind of some slack on like super fanning on some people.
Yeah, but it's also about like 14-year-old love stories and like shit like that. I don't know about her as a comic book character, honestly.
Yeah, those are cringy, but
yeah. I've got a shrine dedicated to Jeff Bezos. So, oh yeah, we all do, obviously. Every night we pray, God, please give us a fraction of his money.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got one in my closet. It's alright.
So, last but not least, She-Hulk, I couldn't finish. It's 9 episodes long, and it came out October 18th, ended October 13th.
I've seen one clip of it.
Can we talk about how much of a feminine mess that fucking show is?
Yeah, it's, like, I hate being that guy who's like, ugh, feminists, but fucking hate She-Hulk, man.
Well, there is being a feminist, and it's okay, it's right. And then there's overdoing it.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
to the point where, like, a character like Hulk, who's arguably stronger and has more experience than She-Hulk, getting beaten on her first fighting as a Hulk, that does not make sense.
Well, that's because she's better, because she's a girl, I guess. No, the actual reason is probably because she, like, only got a drop of the blood or some shit, but it doesn't make any sense. Hulk is supposed to be the strongest, if not... Well, maybe not the strongest Avenger, but he's supposed to be up there in, like, the top 3. Nice. I honest to God, don't know anything about Jeff's hairline. I assume he's receding?
Like, I saw some clips at first, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look that bad. And then I saw some of the feminism clip, and I was like, why? You're bringing Daredevil into this, why?
Have you guys seen the bar scene? I don't think we can show it for copyright reasons, but I can link it.
When they drink?
No, it's, this is the very first episode where Jen is just infected with the Hulk serum, or not serum, Hulk's blood, and the Hulk is nowhere to be seen because he just rampaged, and Jennifer doesn't know what's going on, and she just woke up in the middle of a forest. We know that she just rampaged as a She-Hulk, but she doesn't know that yet. She goes into a bar, and basically there's a bunch of girls in the bar. First of all, she gets catcalled outside, because of fucking course she does. Oh no, that's after she leaves the bar, sorry. So first she goes into the bar, through the back door, to the women's restroom. After she goes into the this clip doesn't fucking have it. But after she gets into that bar, she basically gets, like, 4 or 5, like, I don't know what to describe them as, ladies, that are very fucking annoying. And they're like, oh, honey, who did this to you? You deserve better than this. And they, like, give her their clothes and, like, clean her face for her. And it's supposed to be a moment of, like, women sticking together. It's really fucking annoying. It's just fucking annoying. It also is really weird, like, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't trust a bunch of a stranger I just met in a bar. To be fair, they were drunk.
If a stranger in a bar just tries to fucking rub my...
You know, yeah, but that was after they also gave you their scarf.
What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, but that's also after they gave you their scarf, and an extra pair of clothes, and a purse, and things like that. And it's really weird. Sure,
because a woman would give you her purse.
Yeah, it's just an extra purse, that's why. But it's funny. Yeah.
Because
women just carry around extra purses.
30 fucking purses.
Yeah. And then, she goes outside, she's catcalled, she gets angry, turns into the She-Hulk, and then the Hulk knocks her out. And that's how the first episode not starts, but like halfway through the first episode.
Ow.
And let me see what episode I'm currently on. I believe I'm on episode 6, but let me double check.
I saw one scene of it, and that's where she's twerking it. So what the fuck?
Yeah, she twerks. She also says, I'll kill for you like a Megan Thee Stallion. By the way, that's a fucking joke. Like, Megan Thee Stallion. I ended on episode 5. I couldn't get past the first half of episode 5. If someone wants me to get drunk, I'm gonna assume that they like me.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Wanna get drunk, alcoholics?
Yeah, but, so there's the twerking scene, there's the incompetent males who are just, like, they're not even stereotypes, they're just fucking awful people. Like,
they're just fucking dumbasses?
Yeah, no, the one guy, the whole joke of the episode was he thought he was dating the celebrity Megan Thee Stallion because he's that much of a self-centered asshole and a womanizer and just a jackass. And the entire joke is basically everyone calling him a jackass to get him off of a court, like, thing. Like I forget what the word is, like basically, Jen has to go up on the court trial or whatever and say, oh yeah, he's that much of an asshole, he would actually think he's dating Megan Thee Stallion. When he wasn't actually, by the way, he was dating a shapeshifter from Asgard. But it's okay, because then the real Megan Thee Stallion comes in and then they twerk.
So fucking random.
It's the end card. I forget what the fuck it's called. But yeah, it's not good. I fucking hate it. All of the my problem is that there isn't a single likable character in She-Hulk. I hate every single minor and major character. Bruce? He acts like a fucking dumbass.
What? You're telling me that the arguably smartest people of the entire MCU act like a dumbass?
Have you not seen Multiverse of Madness? They did the same thing with Doctor Strange. I mean, not Doctor Strange. Reed Richards.
Yeah. God, that shit was like.
Sorry, I just chugged a bunch of water.
You know how, like, you first of all, oh yeah, they're bringing back some Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner for a series. It's gonna be fun. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
this is gonna be great.
Episode 5, the start of the episode has two characters basically bribing each other. The one guy wants to get an extra pair of sneakers because he collects sneakers, and then he wants to show off the other pair. So he needs the other minor, major character, whatever, to stand in line with him. I just skipped through the conversation because, like, I can't fucking watch this. It was so cringe.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, no.
Why did they use that to start the fucking series?
Not series, but the episode, yeah.
Or the episode, whatever the fuck.
That actually isn't the start of the episode. The start of the episode is Titania wanting to sue... No, I'm sorry. She-Hulk, Jen Walters, wants to sue Titania because Titania created a really bad, like... I forget, it's like crystals and like perfume that's supposed to make him fall in love with you type of shit. And she actually called it She-Hulk because she got the copyright before Jen Walters got the copyright for She-Hulk.
Stupid.
And then, yeah, that's the main plot of that episode, by the way. That's why I just couldn't watch it.
Arguably great character in the comics. She-Hulk is a good character, even though like she's just a female Hulk, but she's a great character.
And she was at one point.
Oh.
And then they just fucking turned her into the most like fucking aesthetic feminine icon.
My favorite. Go ahead.
Can I just mention? Remember in the second Hulk movie, someone dies from ingesting a drop of the Hulk's blood diluted in the fucking cola?
Yes, but that only happens because they were not a relative of Hulk's. That's how they explain it.
How does that change anything?
I don't know, something about your DNA.
You're still getting a fuck ton of radiation in your body that should kill you.
That's actually what Hulk says when she gets a drop of blood in her. Hulk immediately says, "You just got dosed with an excessive amount of radiation. You're going to die. Oh my god, I'm so sorry." That's basically what he says, and then she turns into She-Hulk.
Yeah, because that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and then in the second episode,
then he trains her as She-Hulk, and then she's a good character.
Yeah. And then She-Hulk in the second episode, she actually goes to Bruce before they do their training montage, and Bruce is like, "I have no fucking idea why you turned into a Hulk instead of dying." So, yeah.
That's another thing that they have to, get that, but Because that's another thing they have to investigate with as Hulk and Hulk. They have to investigate that while training her at the same time as a good story. What I'm saying.
Yeah, so there was actually my favorite quote from She-Hulk. They think the writers love it. So, I'm gonna play this clip for you guys. Hold on.
You look happy. I guess you saw that Wong is back. God, everybody loves Wong. It's like giving the show Twitter armor for a week.
So I hope you guys could see that and hear that. God, everyone loves Wong. It's like giving the show Twitter armor for a week.
It's not a good line.
No, it's fucking hilarious.
No.
Why is one there? Why is it relevant?
I don't get how that's funny.
Someone says, is the show NSFW? Like, is it a regular superhero show? Or is she supposed to be a slut? I saw the thing with her and Meg the Stallion. Oh, that's funny. Either way. Oh, yeah, no, it's not funny, by the way. That's the joke.
Okay.
Like, I'm saying it's the best line as a joke. It's not funny.
I thought I was missing something.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, so She-Hulk is a 1 out of 10. It's so bad I can't even finish it.
I was never gonna watch it.
Yeah. Also, our show is eerily weird without music, so let's end.
I saw that one scene. I was like,
Why don't we have
I'm never
music?
gonna watch this again.
Because I closed it. Because I was showing the Twitter clip.
I remember us choosing the background music, Raven and I. We were buying it off some website.
No, we didn't.
We did the old one.
I don't remember that.
No, we bought one, didn't use it, and then got something else.
Hmm.
Guess I was not there for that.
No, you weren't. It was me and Raven. That's why I decided we needed to use jazz.
Yeah. So what is it, /raid?
I believe so, yes.
Alright, I'm raiding someone. So, they are doing a collab with Kind and Autumn, so please be nice to them. They're a PNG tuber called Only Human.
Hey, human!
Yes.
That is.
So,
okay, we already got it. We're going on a human.
Yeah. I'm only human after all. Oh, good thing I'm not sure my monitor. I accidentally went on a different thing.
No, I'm not gonna say that because I think I can do a voice pretty fucking close to the lead singer, and I don't want us to get copyright.
Fair enough. Alright, so everyone, we will see you next week on Friday, maybe with an episode with Zan. What about Monkey? What about Monkey?
What about me?
Alcoholic says, what about Monkey? Sad face.
I won't continue singing the song because I think I can do a voice pretty close to the lead singer.
Are we leaving him behind? Yeah. Join me and Karma, not Monkey, next week on Friday.
Yes.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah.
No, join Monkey. Monkey will fucking be here next week. We might start at 8:30, though, instead of 8 o'clock. I mean, 7:30 instead of 7, I mean.
If I tell you 8:10, don't start at 8:10.
Either way, we'll see you guys then. What a friends. Bye! Give us your money.